Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Hello and welcome to this video. We are currently inside right now, but we will be going outside and coming back inside. But before we get into what we're going to be doing in this video is, let me adjust the camera, it's kind of on a wonky angle. What we're going to do is, first of all, I'm going to thank everybody that watches, leaves comments, subscribes. You know, I really appreciate it. I enjoy it. I've actually made a new friend because of doing these Genx videos, and she's a really cool person. The Maven 2017. Go check her channel out. She does live streams. Most of her videos are live streams, and this woman is fun just to interact with. Great, knowledgeable. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I'm looking for. Interaction, bringing people together. I also want to thank all the other people that do Genx videos. Thank you. They're an ongoing sense of inspiration for me and content creators in general. Thank you, people. You keep the different platforms. I'm using YouTube because I'm old, stuck in my ways, but all the content creators out in the world. If I remember, because I'm Wishbrain, I will put a link for the Maven 2017 in the description below. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to make a pine needle tea. And before we go out and we harvest our needles and all that good stuff, there are some safety concerns. First of all, I'm in East Texas. We have the loblolly pine. Their needles are perfectly safe to make a tea out of. In the United States, there's only 2, maybe 3 species of pine trees that are actually dangerous to consume tea made from their needles. I don't know what they are because most of them are on the northeast coast of America. I'm in East Texas, so if you're going to make it and you don't know what kind of pine tree you have in your area, do your due diligence, find out whether or not it is safe to consume a tea made from the needles. With that being said, all pine needle tea that is safe for human consumption. There is one caveat that I have to point out just in transparency and fairness, and that is the chemicals that are released, the vitamins and things that are contained within these pine needles are in such abundance that a woman who is trying to get pregnant or is already pregnant should not consume it, because it can cause fertilization of the egg issues, and if a woman is already pregnant, it can lead to a miscarriage, which nobody wants. So that's where we're at there. I'll get my trusty GoPro and my Manno microphone, and we're going to head outside and we're going to do our stuff, then we're going to come back inside, then we're going to process it, and we're going to make the tea that I enjoy drinking. This is not a be-all, end-all way of making pine needle tea. Play with it, have fun with it, add different things you like, play with it. It's one of those things, because of the nature of pine needle tea, you can do a ton of innovation with it. So, give me a little bit and we'll head outside, the GoPro and the terrible Manno microphone, and we'll get us some pine needles. So, we'll be seeing you around the corner. Hello, and we are now outside. Something I need to point out. Pine needles. Dead, dry pine needles. Not any good. We need the green pine needles. I prefer to use scissors because I don't know if the GoPro is going to pick it up, but at the joints where the needles protrude off the branch, if you pull it, there's a risk of damaging the branch itself, leaving it susceptible to parasites, disease, and stuff like that. So I tend to use my oversized pair of scissors, and what I do is I'll trim them, and the amount of needles you use in your tea is going to be up to personal taste. So we're going to head, and I usually use a lot because I'm real bad about not taking my vitamins. So we'll go through here and find us a patch of some fairly green ones. There we go. And something I need to point out about this tea. I'll probably reiterate it when we get back inside and start making the tea. Is the tea, if you make the tea and it has a taste to it and the color changes, your water was too hot. You want something, a water temperature just slightly above touch warm. If you touch it and it's warm, okay. If you touch it and it's just almost hot, that's about the temperature you want. Because what happens is these things are packed full of a chemical called terpen. Back in the day, late 18th century, early 20th century, or late 19th century, early 20th century, the pine tree and its branches, base, everything were used, and actually all the scrap stuff they didn't use for lumber. The branches they cut off, the needles, and stuff like that, were processed down and made into turpentine. That's where turpentine gets its name from. The terpenes and the fact that it came from a pine tree. Now, how true that is, I don't know. It may be more folklore, but I imagine that there's probably some truth to it. I like the folklore or the mythos behind it. So that's the reason why that's, that's where I tend to favor, where turpentine comes from. So let's head back inside. and we'll get the tea processed. We're back inside now, and if I can keep from kicking the tripod over, we'll get on with this. Got our pine needles. I got them on a cutting board, and I've got my basket for my teapot here, which I already put the water in. And what we're going to do is take our pine needles, and the smaller you cut them, the more surface area gets exposed to the water and the stronger amount of vitamins and stuff you get. Alright, that did not go the way I wanted it to. So we're going to have to revert to a knife. So what we want to do is take our pine needles and get them cut. Good. Now what we got to do is put our pine needles in here, and I'm going to add to it because pine needle tea is relatively flavorless and colorless. Now, let me adjust the camera here. Wrong way. There we go. The pine needles, like I was saying, now because it's chock full of terpenes, if your water's too hot, let me step back from the camera just to make sure. Or if you get a piney taste in your tea, you've released the terpenes. There are health benefits to consuming the terpenes, however the taste is horrid. And I'm going to put that there, and what I'm going to add to it for a little bit of color and a little bit of flavor is I have some dried Yopon holly leaves. Put some of those in there, just to give it a little, and cinnamon stick, a little bit of cinnamon. I don't know if that's on camera. Okay, I'm going to show you because I think I had the camera turned wrong. I got the Yopon holly leaves in there. Put a little bit more. Drop me a piece of cinnamon stick in there. Boom. Put a little bit more of the Yopon holly leaf. And the organic corn silk tea. Love this stuff. Go this way, and we'll just take our tea bag, put it in our basket, and we'll drop our basket in our water, and we'll close our lid, and we'll let it steep. Once it's done steeping, we'll be right back and we'll consume it. Okay, here we are. We're about 15 minutes out from when we were in the kitchen. You can see that the corn silk tea and the Yopon holly leaves have discolored the water. It's beautiful golden green. The green tints are from the Yopon holly, and the yellow tint is from the corn silk tea. We're going to let this set just a little bit longer, and while that's going on, I've got the camera centered on the pot and the cup. But this is the particular brand of corn silk tea I like. I may make a graphic of it and put it up in the corner at this point in the video so it's a little bit clearer. I don't know how well the camera is picking up the package, but this is the corn silk tea I enjoy. So we're about ready. We'll go ahead and pour it in here. See, you get the, this is good, one of the things, here, let me adjust the camera so you can see me. There we go. Okay. The longer you let it steep, the more the nutrients, vitamins, and what have you are going to be released into the tea. And if you let it steep, and I've done this, I went to make a cup of tea and forgot about it, and it's cooled all the way down to room temperature. And at room temperature, it's good enough tea, but if you want it cold, you can put it in the refrigerator, put it in a container, put it in the refrigerator. Or if you want it hot again, once you have removed the pine needles, you can reheat it in the microwave or put it in a stovetop kettle or whatever and reheat it. But you have to remove the pine needles where you will release the terpenes. If you like that kind of taste, go for it. Have a party. Have fun. I particularly am not fond of the piney wood taste, but that's just me. So that's basically our look at making how I make pine needle tea. I encourage people to experiment with it, have fun with it, mix it with other teas, mix it with other safe, natural occurring teas like muscadine leaves or dewberry leaves or blackberry plant leaves. Pretty much anything, strawberry leaves, basically any plant that produces a berry that you enjoy, the leaves will produce a decent tea. So cheers up, have fun, enjoy the world, peace.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?